Good morning, Last City. Stanley here with you, and we have another week ahead of us in the gauntlet of RNG, pain, and sadness. Every new week brings hundreds of more hours to grind, but you'll be lucky if half that gear survives the meta. Now on to the news. First things first, we have entered the final week of Festival of the Bugs, formerly known as Festival of the Lost, but after recent events, Guardians put forth a petition to rename the annual Bright Dust Fest. So, if you haven't gotten your very own non-copyright Gundam Sniper and armor yet, open up that wallet and slide into them haunted lost sectors. The next update is for the Guardian frustrated with our God King overlords. The Bungie bounties are live. For a limited time, the divine beings embody mortal avatars, so hunt them down across the galaxy. Maybe give them a good taste of Telesto Asbesto for karma's sake, or the completely fair and balanced Forerunner. Victory nets Guardians a pretty emblem, which hopefully isn't bugged. Now Tower News offers its deepest condolences to Guardians who intend to grind this week's Nightfall. Its Exodus crash. A moment of silence for the sanity sacrifice these brave loot-hungry souls are about to make. You truly embody the spirit of Cade. R.I.P. Bestie. So what are these loot goblins chasing? Why, one of the most broken pulses in the game. The Horrors Leashed. This Crucible demon can roll kill clip, rangefinder, and ricochet rounds. Did I also mention this monster also has an adept variant for the insane meta sleuths that slogged through the GM? Don't get too excited though. Exodus's final room is infamous for a reason. A teleporting invis boss, hordes of arc-blasting fallen that stick to your ass like hemorrhoids, anti-barrier servitors that'll shield its allies like Trump shielding his tax returns, overload captains that never stop blinking around, and a mini-game of the floor is lava thrown in for good measure. Good luck! Should the hellscape known as Exodus Crash's final room get you down, blow off some steam in this week's Crucible playlist. Mayhem returns in all its bat-scat glory. Spam those supers and throw more grenades. You should be throwing grenades as I'm saying this. Don't worry, Shaxipoo, I got your back. Also, we at Tower News do not condone the actions of hunters using tether in Mayhem. That's like going to a party, lecturing everyone about the dangers of having fun, and then handing out chastity belts. Pinnacle junkies, rejoice! The Last Wish rotates back in. Forsaken was such a great expansion if you forget about how broken Nova Warp, Blade Barrage, and Dustrock Blues were. However, the crowning jewel of the Cade-killing DLC was The Last Wish. Not only one of the greatest raids in Destiny history, a gauntlet of bosses, amazing music, a giant dragon final boss, but a breath of fresh air after the Leviathan days, where we fought lamps, ran an obstacle course, and bullied the embodiment of space diabetes. For those who don't want to slog through an entire raid to get a single pinnacle, shoot in your wish to teleport you straight to Riven. Meanwhile, Guardians, in the mood for an explosion of Technokiller, can drop into the Prophecy Dungeon for this week's rotating pinnacle. Admire Aramis, bugged in place at the first spooktacular encounter, shake the dust off your Legend of Actrius and burst down every boss until the final fight. Besides the pinnacle, Guardians can net themselves former Trials of the Nine exclusive weapons, which includes one of the best pulses in the game, the Darkest Before. But we all know the best pinnacle rewards are in Kingsfall. This week, the Devious Thievery Challenge is active in the War Priest encounter. Play hot potato with the brand buff to net your fire team double loot. Timing and teamwork are queen here. So prepare to yell at your friends when someone inevitably screws up. Next up the tower, but before we go, a word from our sponsor. Have you ever lost a slap fight to a sidearm because you got confused and mistook the NEOD for the ANIO? Well, that's how it feels to shoot hockey. Hockey, the Ford of the future. To segue from that ad, we have the Palmera B, a hockey rocket that's still here and yes, is still useless. Not so useless, though still kinda useless, is the Taipan that's being sold. Not your best option, but it does have focus sphere and clamp cartridge. You can still craft a better one, but if you're desperate, it's definitely better than last week's. For those of you looking for a really good PvE 900 RPM, the Funnel Web has a really decent roll, even for the Crucible, if you don't mind having Frenzy instead of something useful. As we also have Perpetual Motion and Accurized Rounds and Arrowhead Break to really control that recoil, or Hammer Forged if you're feeling brave. Don't feel brave, that's a bad idea. Being brave has gotten no one anywhere in this game. We also have the Snonoris? We also have the Snorai FR5, which again, you could pretty much just pass on because really surplus Wellspring, it's a PvE, it's a role that doesn't know what it wants to be, let's be honest. You're going to be using your abilities all the time, so surplus kinda, what's the point? I mean, Wellspring sure gives you back some energy, but come on, it's a fusion. You want something here that can help kill things real good in the Crucible, or real good in PvE, and Wellspring, you can do better. We also have the Lunalata 4B. This bow has the Golden Tricorn for more damage off kills. Shoot to loot. Kinda weird. Shooting an ammo brick picks it up and automatically reloads all of your equipped weapons from the reserve. Though I'm guessing you could probably get something a lot better here. That said, it does have a draw time masterwork, so you can shoot this thing like Legolas if only you had Archer's Tempo. Lastly, we have the Statico 46, which this time around has Dragonfly, so you can make things explode. Compulsive Loader grants increased reload speed when close to full mag, for those of you who are very neurotic about your reloading. Extended mag for really slow reloads, so Compulsive Loader is probably going to come in handy. That said, you most likely already have a really good PvE scout that you like. And this thing is not going to do you any favors in the Crucible. Lastly, we have the Pay to Win store, which has reset with Flower Child to make yourself look hideous. Oh no. Oh my, it's so bad I have to have it. A Star Horse mask for those who really want to do the Harlem Shake. A weird moonrise projection that kind of looks like a testicle that has veins. Now you can't unsee it, can you? An ugly ship. For Bright Dust, you can get this machine gun you probably forgot you even had. The Grand Overture's Promethean Prelude skin. Which, I'll be honest, kinda ugly. Or you can get Oryx with like really swole looking arms. What is that? Like you see his arms, but then you got like these other arm thingies. It's like he turned into Machamp when we weren't looking and just skipped arm day on his two tiny T-Rex arms and just like got super buff with his other arms. Like, That's just so weird, I have to have it. Finch mask. For those who want to look fugly. I thought this was going to be the one with the cool cat, but no. It's the penis rocket. It's a penis, guys. It's a penis. I mean, look at it. Ribbed for her pleasure. A papercraft shell thing for your ghost. The hold me emote. When you see your PvP lobby is full of really competent players, but your team isn't. And the imitation of what it's like to fire a trace rifle before that buff if it ever loads. You can imagine it. We've already covered this emote. He's just like... He's just wiggling. He's doing a little wiggle with it. I don't got time to watch all that. Now that's everything from us at Tower News. Thank you so much for watching, and we hope you all have an amazing week.